Good afternoon or good morning or whenever you're watching this. Welcome to Mr. Reely's neighborhood. It's great to see you today, and today's gonna be a little different. It's gonna be the first Mr. Reely's neighborhood that I don't try to do anything silly or funny or goofy. It's gonna be real serious today because we're talking about some serious things. And oh wait a second. What? Oh, sorry. One of my grandson's here, and he needs to. He looks like he needs me for some reason. Is that for me, Liam?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, that looks so tasty. Mmm. That looks. Well, boys and girls, you see, I'm not the only comedian in my family.
I want to wipe it.
Yeah, I'd like to wipe it too.
I want to wipe it.
Now the question is,
I want to wipe it.
do I want to do the whole lesson like this? Do you want to look at this while I'm doing the lesson, or should I clean up? So you're saying, okay. Well, it does taste good though. All right, I'll go get cleaned up, and then we'll finish the lesson. Boy, Liam, you're quite the comedian. Ha ha ha. All right, I'm back. Man, grandkids, what are you going to do? What can you do? And you had to know there's no way I was going to be able to do a whole video without something kind of goofy, didn't you? Okay. But now's the serious part. Some of you have been back to the church building for classes, and some of you haven't, and that's fine. I fully respect what you wanted to do in terms of safety concerns. But in a couple of minutes, you're going to see a video, and I filmed all of our classrooms and how they've been renovated. You saw some of them before you left, but it's now all done. And if you'll walk up the center stairwell, the next time you're there, you'll see two canvas paintings in the stairwell up on the walls. And it has the two main scriptures that the rest of the hallway upstairs is based on. And so when you get upstairs, if you look on the wall, you'll see a number of words taken from excuse me. That's really how I sneeze. I wasn't trying to be funny there. I'm sorry. But when you go up in the hallway, you'll see some of the words that we've taken from the scriptures to decorate the hallways with, along with some vines, which symbolizes growth. Because 4th through 6th grade is not only a time when you grow physically, it's a time that you grow spiritually. That's been kind of one of the interesting things about COVID is some of the people that I've seen, some of the kids that I've seen, I have not seen for months. And several of you are inches higher. Yeah, and I remember when I was a kid, one of the things that used to drive me nuts when I would go to church and I hadn't seen somebody for a while, it would be a little old lady would come up to me and say, "The last time I saw you, you were only about 2 feet high. You have grown so much," and I thought, well, man, when I grow up, I'm never going to say that to anybody. But guess what I have? I don't know what else you say. I mean, you see a kid and they're a foot taller, you just got to say, "Man, you've grown so much. Last time I saw you," So I do that too. And so I'm sure there's some of you I haven't seen for a while that that's going to be my first reaction. You have grown so much. So, but we don't want you to just grow physically over the next few years. We want you to grow spiritually. And so we have words that we think that are important in your life to grow in and develop in terms of your spiritual life. And then if you go in the 4th grade classroom, you'll see a wall mural in there. You'll see 2 canvas paintings. Go in the 5th grade room, same thing. 6th grade room, same thing. And all of those are in the video that you'll see. So I really hope that you'll watch the video, kind of give you a preview of what you have, something to look forward to when you return, whenever that may be. One of the verses in the hallway is from Galatians. It's Galatians chapter 5, verse 22 and 23. And what I'm going to do for the next few weeks is take one verse each week from one of the wall canvases in our new renovated facility. And so I'm going to focus on this first one because I take words out of that verse, and they're the words that you will see on the walls when you get upstairs. It's a very familiar passage in Galatians 5:22 and 23 because it's called the fruit of the Spirit. And I'm going to read this to you and then we'll talk about it just a little bit. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such things there is no law. Now, when you look at this first part of this verse, it says the fruit of the Spirit. And I know when you read that, your first thing you're thinking, okay, these are like apples and oranges and grapes and stuff. It's not really talking about that kind of fruit. You might have heard the term the fruit of their labor. So fruit really in this sense means more of the result. And so this is talking about the result of a Spirit-filled life. If you have God's Spirit in you, this is going to be the result. All these words are what's going to come out in your life. And so we have some of these words. We couldn't fit all of them upstairs, but we have a number of these words upstairs on the wall to remind us every day we go down the hall, that's what I'm trying to grow in. That's what I'm trying to be like. And so as you look at some of these words today, I want you to think of something specifically that you can do to live one of these words a little bit better this week. I just picked a few out. I picked out the word peace. Peace is a very important thing to work on. How about your family life at home? Of course, if you're an only child, maybe it's not as much of a difficult unless having peace with your parents is an issue. But I know if you have brothers and sisters home, there's a good chance that there's a problem with peace sometime. And so I encourage you this week to do what you can to have a peaceful relationship with your brothers and sisters. And I know it's really easy to go, yeah, but no, don't say yeah, but just make a real effort to be peaceful. When they're starting an argument, just don't join in on it. Say, I'm not gonna argue with you about that. Be as open as you can. I've talked about this on another Mr. Reely's Neighborhood, is that you don't have to correct everything that your brother or sister does wrong. Let your parents do that. They can take care of that. Another thing is a lot of times if they say something to you that aggravates you, either don't respond at all or respond kindly. If they insult you, then respond in a kind way. Don't go back and be mean back to them. And that's one of the hardest things to do, is not to retaliate. And that would be probably the best thing you could do this week to maintain peace in your household, is if somebody does something you don't like and they do it to you, is don't retaliate. Don't do it back to them. Because that's probably going to be your first reaction, and you have to resist that. It doesn't make it okay for you to say something mean to somebody just because they did it first. I haven't seen anywhere in the Bible where God says, if somebody says something bad to you, feel free to go ahead and say something bad back to them. Jesus says, turn the other cheek. He says, look away. Turn the other cheek. Don't return in kind. How about kindness? There might be a time that you see somebody at school or somebody in your family where you could make fun of them and embarrass them. But if you're being kind, resist that. That might be your opportunity to be kind this week, is take an opportunity when you could make fun of somebody that you don't. Another way to be kind is if you see somebody that needs help with something. Instead of just walking away and with them struggling with something, go over and help them with it. Is there somebody at school that you know that's not very well liked by other people for whatever reason? They need somebody to be kind to them. Maybe you need to be the one that goes over, and I know with social distancing you kind of have to vary things now, but you're the one that says something nice to them, something encouraging, somebody that compliments somebody for that. Because at your age, if you're not careful, you're going to be looking very hard about yourself all the time. You're going to be so concerned about yourself at school that you're almost blinded to other kids that might need somebody to be kind to them. And then how about gentleness? You know, I love the word gentleness, and in a lot of ways, I think it's very related to the word kindness. And when I think of gentleness, I think of the idea of being gentle with somebody else's feelings. You know, some people are very, very sensitive. And if you're not a very sensitive person, a lot of times it's real easy just to say things to somebody or treat somebody in a certain way that to them is not gentleness to them. You don't think anything about it because maybe you're not very sensitive. But some people are more sensitive, and you need to be aware of that and be gentle with people's feelings. You know, there are things that you could say to somebody that they will really remember the rest of their life, particularly if it's something that's unkind. So go out this week, because if the Spirit is living in you, you're going to be somebody that is gentle with the feelings of other people. And finally, I just picked out the word self-control. And it's exactly what it means. It means being able to control yourself, whatever it might be. Do you have a bad temper? If you're reacting out in anger all the time and having tantrums and all that kind of thing, that's not the Spirit of God dwelling in you. That's not you growing in the Lord if you have no self-control. You might not believe this, but believe it or not, when I was in the third grade, I was a very talkative child and always trying to be funny. You know, some things never change. And when I was in third grade, we moved to a school that had conduct grades. Isn't that bad luck? You know, so not only did you have grades for your subject area, you had effort grades where you would get A, B, C, D, or F, and then you had conduct grades for A, B, C, D, or F. So you were graded on how you behaved also. And so it was a rude awakening because I came from a school that did not do that. And so I get my first report card at my new school, and I have some C's in conduct. I have all A's and B's for my grades, you know, for effort and for the academic part. But in terms of conduct, I had C's. And but I worked every year to improve my self-control. A lot of that was from not having self-control. I would blurt out in class. I would turn around and talk to somebody. I wasn't ever mean to the teacher or anything. I wasn't disrespectful in that regard. I just talked too much. I didn't have self-control. And sometimes that kind of got me into trouble. I had a third grade teacher. Of course, they'd probably get fired for this now, but a third grade teacher that got mad at me once. Would you believe she called me a dumb bunny? She called me a dumb bunny, and she got her fist and hit me on the top of the head like that. It felt like a bobblehead. But, you know, maybe I deserved it. I can't remember. I think I was talking during reading time or something. But still, I don't deserve to get bopped on the top of the head. But anyway, but I try to get better every year. So guess what? I get to fourth grade. I have all B's, no C's, still no A's. But my conduct is getting better. I'm getting better at self-control. Then fifth grade, same thing. I still can't get an A, but I am at least getting all B's. And then in sixth grade, it happened. I got my first A in conduct in sixth grade. And then I ended up getting quite a few A's that year in conduct, you know. And it took about 4 years to do it, but my self-control got better. But I had set a goal to do that. My parents didn't make me do that. I thought, man, I'm tired of getting in trouble. I want straight A's in conduct. And then by ninth grade, I was getting, you know, straight A's in conduct, not just a few of them here and there. So is there some part of self-control? Is there something you need to be more disciplined at? Things you do that you need to control better? Set a goal, because that's one of the results or the fruits of the Spirit. So I hope you enjoyed this video coming up. It's not a funny video. It's just a video of the renovations, but I think you're going to love the painting that was done, and I think you'll be able to pick out the themes. But we'll talk about each room a little bit in the succeeding weeks. So it's been great seeing you. I love you. I hope things can clear out enough that I can see all of you back at church. But of course, if you're not back, I certainly understand that, because we want everybody to do what they feel like they need to do to stay safe. But have a great week.
Every thought I've had, you know everyone, and Lord, you know every time I fall, still you come to my rescue when I call. And Lord, you hear every idle word, every thoughtless deed, how it seems absurd that, Lord, you give not what I am due, but mercy. You come to my rescue. You come to my rescue. You come to my rescue. Oh, you come to my rescue. You come to my rescue, Lord, to my and Lord, you care. You've become my friend. Amazing love, whose boundaries have no end. And Lord,